Hey folks, let's take a quick look at the Cosmos Zone Persistence Starter project, where this project here indexes all delegated reward withdrawals on persistence. Let's go ahead and jump into VS Code, and we'll start the project by running subql init, and we'll call this, say, persistence demo. We've accepted all the default parameters, and then we'll cd into the folder here, and we'll install the dependencies first. Great. Next up, let's open up the schema to see that we are defining a delegated reward entity, indexing block height, transaction hash, information around fees and rewards, and also delegated and validated addresses. Next up, if we open up our manifest file or the project YAML file, you can see that we are using the endpoint, the persistence endpoint here by Notional Ventures. Scrolling down, we are starting at block height just over 10 million here. And we've also got a handle event filtering on message withdraw delegated rewards down here. Jumping into the mappings file, we've got the handle event function here that receives an event argument of type Cosmos event. We then create a new object here called new delegated reward, and then extract the various parameters and assign it to our entity. And then finally, we save the information. Now, what I'll do is let's run CodeGen to generate the type scripts, and then I'll go ahead and build the code. And before I run this, I want to jump into my Docker Compose file and just make a minor change here. I want to decrease the batch size down to 1, like so, just for testing purposes, because the default is 100. And what happens is with the public endpoint, we'll actually get rate limited. So I'm just going to reduce this. And the other modification I'll make is I'm going to add a store cache flag and decrease the threshold down to 1. This just means that I get the results faster because I'm flushing the cache for every single transaction that is made, instead of waiting for a batch of, say, 1,000. Now from this, let's now run yarn start Docker. And just a note that you could run yarn dev to include the CodeGen build and Docker command all in one. Now while this is starting up, let's go into our README file and copy out the sample query. You can see it's indexing already. So what I'll do is let's jump into Playground. And I'll open up a new query here. Let's paste this in and hit run. And you can see some information coming back already. Now to go ahead and confirm this, what we can do is let's open up mintscan.io/persistence. And then let's go and grab the transaction hash here. I'll copy this and I'll do a quick search for it. I'll just replace an existing transaction here. And what you should be able to see is that we've got the amount here as 42. We've got 42 here. The validated address ends in TQP. We've got TQP here. And then the delegated address ends in 75HZ, which is 75HZ. So a very quick example of how to index delegated rewards on the Persistence Cosmos Zone.